What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about The Night House. Welcome to Victims and Villains. Wherever you guys are currently watching this video, make sure that you guys like, follow, and or subscribe. That way you guys never miss a hope-filled moment. If you guys are new to Victims and Villains, we are a nonprofit and publication that creates content which educates and engages individuals like yourself on mental health awareness and suicide prevention through pop culture. I'm your host, Captain Nostalgia. And today, like I said, we're talking about The Night House. So this film tells the story of a woman played by Rebecca Hall. Great performance. Literally speechless. Talk about it in a few minutes. Who loses her husband to suicide. Quick aside real quick. I just want to encourage anyone, if you are having suicidal thoughts or depression that might be bordering on suicidal thoughts, please check out our resources below. The main reason why we do this type of video and content really that you're watching right now is to let you know that you have value, that you have worth, and that you're loved. But above all is to point you and put the right resources to help you get through the suicidal thoughts and depression that you're currently feeling, and overcome them. So back to the video. And in her grieving process, she discovers some really strange and bizarre things that her husband was going through, almost like a secret life. Literally, take it from me, the less you know about this movie, the more effective, the more impactful, and the better you'll be for it. Like I said, Hall delivers a powerhouse performance. This is one of my favorite performances that I have seen this year, and much like last year's Promising Young Woman, Hall's performance feels very reminiscent of Carey Mulligan, and just absolutely walked out of this theater just absolutely speechless on how to process her performance, because it is very much like also Toni Collette from Hereditary is another great example of just the top tier performance that Hall really transforms and just dives into. She just transcends the screen and every frame that she's in. This cast is relatively small. There's a few bit players that you get to see and get to know, neighbors, friends, but for the most part, the majority of the film is focusing on Hall's grieving process, and that really helps the film thrive. Also have to note that this film has a very slow burn to it. I got about halfway through this film and I was questioning whether it was good or not, and once the third act progresses, everything else in the first two acts, I mean, it really just gives you a finer appreciation for that slow burn aspect that David Bruckner pulls off here. Pacing in this film is absolutely incredible. Like I said, it's a very slow burn, but once you kind of see the full picture that Bruckner is painting here, it is absolutely just the chef's kiss. Like, it is one of the best movies that this year has given us. I would even dare to go as far as to say that this is probably top 5 horror movies released this year. This film gets into some really weird subjects, and it just really dives down deep into it, and this film has so many layers it demands. Not that it's going to think, but it demands multiple viewings to truly understand and process what you just watched. And honestly, films like that are layered, this film reminds me conceptually and structurally very much of Joker and Tenet, the way that it just messes with your mind. The optical illusions that are in this film, I'm going to just leave it very vague like that. Incredible. Really enhances the experience of this film. Obviously, the mental health moment for this movie, there's so much to pull from, but I think one of the most important themes that this film involves is how openly we need to be talking about suicide and mental health. Not to put my own art on blast here, a few years ago, I wrote a poem, and a portion of that poem was trying to process the death of my own friend's suicide. And there's a line that I wrote in there, is that suicide always feels fantastical until you understand the weight of its reality. Because suicide really does feel like something that we never think about. We know it's there. We don't ever talk about it. We don't ever address it until it happens to us. And then it takes on a completely different meaning and tone and just reality, really. We understand the gravity that over 40,000 families feel every year in the United States. So I just want to encourage people that, as morbid as it might seem, be open about mental health. Be vulnerable enough to share when you are feeling like suicide might be your only option. And please consider the resources in the descriptions below, because you have value and you have worth. And no matter how bad it gets, and like I said, this film really dives in deep and just goes for the grieving process, specifically what others feel after someone is going through a suicide, and it does it such in a graceful way that I just have to say, please go see this movie. For us here at Victims and Villains, I have to give this a very strong 5 out of 5. This is a world-class film. The Night House is one of the best movies that this year has offered us, and I cannot recommend it enough to you guys. So let me know below what you guys thought about it, and if you or someone you know does need help or is struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, addiction, or self-harm, please click the links in the descriptions below. Reach out to us on any of our social medias. If you guys are watching this on one of our social medias, click the link, just click that DM button, and we'll be happy to talk to you guys and get you guys the resources and the help that you guys need. So thank you guys, and yeah, tomorrow we're going to be live on Twitch to do awareness-a-thon, teaming up with great creators like Collateral Gaming, Collateral Cinema. You Have to Watch This Podcast, Anthony Rippo, Scene Snobs. We just have so many people that are going to be the Box Network. So join us this Saturday, and have a great night, guys.